Take a close look at your skin, not just your face, your hands, your arms, the back of your neck. If you've noticed that your skin seems to be aging faster than it should, if fine lines are deepening, your complexion looks dull, or wounds and blemishes seem to take forever to heal, your body may already be sending you a very specific warning signal. And here's what most people over 50 never suspect. This isn't just about getting older. Something is happening at the cellular level, something quiet, something that most doctors never even mention at a routine checkup. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share could genuinely change the way you think about your skin and your health forever. Now, I want you to think about something for a moment. When was the last time someone told you that you looked younger than your age? Not to be unkind, but for many people over 50, that compliment becomes less and less common. And most of us chalk it up to the same thing. It's just aging. There's nothing I can do about it. But here's what's interesting. Two people can be the same age, same decade, same general lifestyle, and look completely different. One person's skin looks firm, relatively smooth, and healthy. The other looks significantly older, tired, almost like the skin has given up. Most doctors will tell you it's genetics, or sun exposure, or stress. And yes, those things matter. But there's something else going on, something that researchers have been studying intensely over the last 2 decades. And it has nothing to do with expensive creams or cosmetic procedures. The difference often comes down to what's happening inside your cells, specifically, how well your cells are repairing themselves. Because here's something most people don't realize. Your skin is actually one of the fastest renewing tissues in your entire body. It's supposed to be constantly rebuilding, constantly repairing. When that process slows down or breaks down, the outside shows it almost immediately. And after 50, something begins to interfere with that process in a very specific way. Let me explain what researchers found. For years, scientists were puzzled by what they called the longevity paradox. They noticed something fascinating when studying populations in certain regions of the world, particularly parts of southern France and Sardinia in Italy. People in these areas were eating rich diets, sometimes drinking wine regularly, living lives that by conventional health standards should have been aging them faster. And yet, they weren't. Their skin looked younger, their cardiovascular systems were healthier, their cells seemed to be functioning more like those of people 10 or 15 years younger. Researchers called it the French paradox, and they spent years trying to figure out why. At the same time, dermatologists were noticing something in their older patients. Even among people who used sunscreen religiously, avoided smoking, and ate reasonably well, some were showing dramatic acceleration in skin aging after their 50s. Fine lines turning into deep wrinkles almost overnight. Skin losing its ability to bounce back. Healing times for cuts and blemishes doubling and tripling. The question was, why? What was the hidden mechanism causing some people's skin cells to essentially stop repairing themselves properly? And what was protecting the people in those Mediterranean regions from the same fate? The answer, when it finally came, surprised almost everyone in the medical community. Now, before I tell you what they discovered, I want you to understand something important about your skin that most people never learn. Your skin cells, every single one of them, contain something called a nucleus. And inside that nucleus is your DNA. Think of your DNA as the instruction manual for your entire body. It tells your cells how to grow, how to repair, how to function. But here's where things get really interesting. Every time your cells divide, and your skin cells divide constantly, tiny protective caps on the ends of your DNA strands, called telomeres, get a little bit shorter. Think of them like the plastic tips on the end of a shoelace. When those tips are long and intact, everything works perfectly. The shoelace holds together. Your cells divide cleanly and repair properly. But as those protective caps shorten, the DNA becomes vulnerable. Cells start making errors when they divide. Repair processes slow down, inflammation increases, and the visible result of all of this, on the outside, is accelerated aging. Deeper wrinkles, thinner skin, longer healing times. That dull, tired complexion that no amount of moisturizer seems to fix. Now here's the critical question that researchers were asking. Is there something that can actually protect those telomeres? Something that can slow down this process, or even help reverse some of the damage? And what they found genuinely surprised the scientific world. The compound they kept coming back to was called resveratrol. Now, resveratrol isn't a vitamin in the traditional sense. It's a naturally occurring polyphenol, a powerful plant compound. And your body absolutely depends on it for cellular health and repair. particularly as you age. Here's how it works, in plain language. Your body has a family of proteins called sirtuins, sometimes called the longevity proteins. Think of sirtuins as your cell's repair crew. When everything is working properly, these proteins are constantly patrolling your DNA, fixing damage, reducing inflammation, and keeping your cells functioning the way they should. Resveratrol is one of the most powerful activators of sirtuins ever discovered. Specifically, it activates a sirtuin called SIRT1, which plays a direct role in DNA repair, cellular aging, and skin regeneration. When resveratrol levels are high, when your body is getting enough of this compound, your sirtuin repair crew is working at full capacity. Your cells divide more cleanly, damage gets repaired faster, inflammation is kept under control, and your skin reflects all of this. It looks healthier, more resilient, more youthful. But when resveratrol levels are consistently low, which is extremely common after the age of 50, that repair crew essentially goes understaffed. Cellular damage accumulates faster than it's being fixed. Inflammation quietly increases throughout the body, and your skin, which depends entirely on healthy cell turnover, begins to show the consequences. But here's the part that most people, and even many doctors, completely miss. It's not just about wrinkles. When I say accelerated skin aging, most people immediately think of fine lines and sagging. And yes, those are real and visible signs, but they're actually the last thing to show up, not the first. The first place this cellular breakdown begins isn't on the surface of your skin at all. It starts at the mitochondrial level, deep inside your skin cells. Here's why that matters. Your mitochondria are the energy engines of your cells. Every repair process, every cellular function, every time your skin tries to heal a blemish or recover from sun exposure, all of that requires energy. Energy produced by your mitochondria. Research has shown that resveratrol doesn't just activate sirtuins, it also directly supports mitochondrial function and actually stimulates the creation of new mitochondria inside cells. This process is called mitochondrial biogenesis, and it's essentially your body manufacturing new energy engines for cellular repair. When mitochondrial function declines, which happens naturally with age, and accelerates when resveratrol is insufficient, your skin cells simply don't have the energy they need to repair properly. They go through the motions of cell division, but the quality of that repair is poor. And this is where the real warning signs begin to appear, and some of them may surprise you. Let me walk you through the signs that your skin's cellular repair system may be struggling, and that your resveratrol levels could be playing a role. The first sign is slow wound healing. Have you noticed that small cuts, scratches, or skin blemishes seem to take significantly longer to heal than they used to? Maybe a small shaving nick that would have healed in 2 days now takes a week. This is one of the earliest and most reliable indicators that cellular repair has slowed at a fundamental level. The second sign is a persistently dull complexion. Not just tired looking in the morning, but a chronic underlying dullness that doesn't go away with sleep or hydration. Healthy skin has a natural luminosity because new cells are constantly making their way to the surface. When that turnover slows, older, duller cells accumulate on the surface, and the skin loses its natural glow. The third sign is increased skin sensitivity and redness. If your skin has become more reactive, flushing more easily, irritated by products it once tolerated, showing persistent patches of redness, this can indicate that the anti-inflammatory mechanisms in your skin are breaking down. Resveratrol is a powerful anti-inflammatory compound, and when levels drop, chronic low-grade inflammation in skin tissue increases. The fourth sign is thinning skin. Many people over 50 notice their skin becoming noticeably thinner, particularly on the hands and forearms, bruising more easily, skin that feels more fragile. This reflects a decline in collagen synthesis, which resveratrol directly supports by protecting the fibroblast cells responsible for collagen production. The fifth sign is uneven skin tone and age spots. While sun exposure is certainly a factor in hyperpigmentation, the underlying cause of many age spots is oxidative stress, free radical damage accumulating in skin cells faster than the cells can repair it. Resveratrol is one of the most potent antioxidants studied in relation to skin health. When levels are insufficient, oxidative damage goes unchecked, and uneven pigmentation accelerates. The sixth sign is loss of skin elasticity, that quality of skin that allows it to spring back. Press your finger against your cheek and release it. In younger, well-nourished skin, it bounces back immediately. As elastin and collagen production decline and cellular repair slows, that elasticity diminishes. Skin begins to sag and crease in ways it didn't before. Now, if you're recognizing several of these signs, I want to be very clear about something. This doesn't mean you're destined for a certain path, because understanding why this is happening is the first step toward doing something about it. And the question most people have at this point is, why does this happen in the first place? There are several reasons why resveratrol levels tend to decline significantly after 50, and some of them may genuinely surprise you. The first reason is dietary changes. Resveratrol occurs naturally in a relatively small number of foods, primarily red grapes, certain berries like blueberries and mulberries, peanuts, and dark chocolate. As we age, our diets often shift. Portions get smaller, food variety narrows, and many of the foods richest in resveratrol are ones that people eat less of as they get older. The second reason is declining absorption efficiency. This is critically important and rarely discussed. Even if you're eating resveratrol-rich foods, your body's ability to absorb and utilize plant compounds like resveratrol decreases significantly with age. Changes in gut microbiome composition, which naturally occur after 50, directly affect how well resveratrol is metabolized. A less diverse gut microbiome means less efficient conversion of resveratrol into its active, usable forms. The third reason is increased demand. Here's the reality of aging. Your body is dealing with more oxidative stress, more inflammatory signals, and more cellular damage than it was at 30. So even if your resveratrol intake stayed exactly the same, your body's need for it has increased significantly. This creates a gap between supply and demand that most people never address. The fourth reason is medication interactions. This is a significant factor for many people over 50. Common medications, including certain blood pressure medications, statins, and anti-inflammatory drugs, can affect the body's antioxidant pathways and alter how plant polyphenols like resveratrol are processed. This doesn't mean medications are the enemy, but it does mean that people on multiple medications may have even greater nutritional needs than they realize. The fifth reason is sun damage accumulation. Decades of ultraviolet exposure create ongoing oxidative stress in skin cells that compounds over time. This continuously depletes antioxidant reserves, including the pathways that resveratrol supports. The more cumulative sun exposure, the higher the demand for cellular protection and repair. And perhaps most importantly, the sixth reason is the natural decline of NAD+. Here's where the science gets particularly fascinating. Resveratrol activates sirtuins, but sirtuins require a coenzyme called NAD+ to function. After 50, NAD+ levels in the body drop dramatically, sometimes by as much as 50%. This means that even if resveratrol is present, the repair machinery it's supposed to activate is running low on fuel. This is one of the reasons why resveratrol's effects become more important with age, not less, because it helps compensate for some of this age-related decline. So what can you actually do about all of this? The good news is genuinely encouraging, because unlike many age-related changes, this is one area where targeted, practical steps can make a real and noticeable difference. Let me walk you through what the research actually supports. Step 1. Dietary sources. The most natural way to increase resveratrol intake is through food. The highest concentrations are found in red grapes and red grape juice, particularly the skin of red grapes, which is where resveratrol is most concentrated, blueberries and bilberries, excellent sources, and among the most accessible mulberries, one of the richest natural sources, though less commonly eaten peanuts and peanut butter, a surprisingly good source, particularly boiled peanuts, dark chocolate, contains resveratrol alongside other beneficial polyphenols, pistachios, a lesser known but meaningful source. Now, a word of honesty here. Getting therapeutic amounts of resveratrol purely from food is genuinely challenging. The concentrations in whole foods, while beneficial, are relatively modest, which is why many people over 50 who want to specifically address cellular aging choose to supplement. Step 2, supplementation. Resveratrol supplements are widely available and have been studied extensively for their effects on skin aging, cardiovascular health, and cellular repair. Most research on meaningful cellular effects uses doses in the range of 250 to 500 milligrams per day of trans resveratrol, which is the biologically active form. When choosing a supplement, look specifically for trans resveratrol on the label, as this is the form that has been studied most thoroughly. One important tip, resveratrol is fat-soluble, which means it's absorbed significantly better when taken with a meal that contains healthy fats. Taking it alongside something like avocado, olive oil, nuts, or even a piece of fatty fish can meaningfully increase how much your body actually absorbs. Step 3, pairing resveratrol with complementary nutrients. Research strongly suggests that resveratrol works synergistically with several other compounds. Quercetin, found in onions, apples, and capers, appears to enhance resveratrol's bioavailability. NMN or NR, precursors to NAD+, are increasingly being studied alongside resveratrol because they address the NAD+ depletion issue I mentioned earlier. And vitamin C works alongside resveratrol's antioxidant action to protect collagen from oxidative damage. This doesn't mean you need to take everything at once, but being aware of these synergies helps you make smarter choices. Step 4, lifestyle factors that protect cellular repair. Even the best supplementation works better alongside certain lifestyle practices. Quality sleep is non-negotiable. The majority of cellular repair in the skin happens during deep sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation essentially overrides the benefits of any supplement you take. Reducing chronic stress matters enormously. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, directly degrades collagen and accelerates cellular aging at the DNA level. Managing stress isn't just about feeling better, it's genuinely about how old your cells function. Sun protection remains critical, not because you need to avoid the sun entirely, but because accumulated UV damage is one of the primary drivers of the oxidative stress that depletes your skin's repair capacity. A broad-spectrum SPF applied consistently is one of the most evidence-backed things you can do for skin cellular health. And finally, staying hydrated. This sounds almost too simple, but dehydration directly impairs cellular function throughout the body, including in skin tissue. Even mild chronic dehydration reduces the efficiency of cellular processes that depend on proper fluid balance. Let's bring everything together because I want to make sure this is really clear. Your skin is not just aging because of time, it's aging because of what's happening inside your cells. Specifically, how well they're repairing themselves, how efficiently they're producing energy, and how effectively your body is managing the oxidative damage that accumulates over decades. Resveratrol sits at the center of all of this. It activates your body's longevity proteins. It supports mitochondrial health. It protects your DNA repair processes. It fights the chronic inflammation that accelerates visible aging. And it directly supports the collagen and elastin systems that keep your skin looking resilient and healthy. The signs of declining resveratrol, slow healing, dull complexion, increased sensitivity, thinning skin, uneven tone, lost elasticity are not inevitable. They're signals, and signals, when understood correctly, give you the opportunity to respond. After 50, your body's demand for cellular protection and repair is higher than it's ever been. That's not cause for alarm. It's cause for awareness. And now you have that awareness. This is why understanding resveratrol and its role in cellular aging may be one of the most important things someone over 50 can do for their long-term skin health, and frankly, for their overall cellular health as well. Now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these signs? Slower healing, that persistent dullness, skin that just doesn't seem to bounce back the way it used to? Drop a comment below and tell me what you've experienced. I read every single comment, and your experience genuinely helps other people in this community realize they're not alone. If this video gave you something useful, something you didn't know before, please give it a thumbs up. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps this information reach more people over 50 who need it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time. We cover exactly this kind of topic every week. The hidden nutritional causes behind symptoms that most people over 50 are quietly dealing with and assuming are just part of getting older. They usually aren't. Share this with someone you care about, a spouse, a sibling, a friend who's been commenting on their skin lately. This is the kind of information that doesn't always make it into a routine doctor's visit, and sometimes a shared video is what starts the right conversation. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.